Bill Maher recently talked to TMZ because they're making a documentary about Kanye called Unhinged but Unstoppable. And he said that he axed a 2-hour-long interview he did with Kanye in the past year because of his anti-Semitism. He called him a charming anti-Semite. And he thought that airing the interview was going to normalize all of the anti-Semitism that he was projecting into the public.
It is interesting because it kind of runs parallel to what people were saying about the Putin interview, which is that you don't believe people are smart enough to make up their minds.
Exactly. He's insulting his audience. And also, if you didn't air the interview, why do you need to mention that you did it?
He's virtue signaling.
Yeah, he is. He was talking to Harvey Levin, and he said, I thought it was going to be a learning moment. We were there for 2 hours. We had an amazing fun time. He's a very charming anti-Semite. And by the way, he's not the only one in America who feels this way. It's not like Jews are universally loved except for Kanye West. The problem is that he appeals mostly to young people. They don't know how much, and they surely don't know how much about the Middle East or Jews. So the combination of Kanye out there, I feel like he was helpful for spreading the fertilizer for this idea that Israel and Jews are the worst people in the world. And Harvey Levin suggested that you could say the same thing about Hitler in regards to West emboldening other people to voice their anti-Semitic views.
Is the idea here that Bill Maher Bill Maher's not an idiot. He's plenty capable of pushing back on whatever Kanye was saying. Is he saying that his arguments were so not persuasive that he wasn't able to push back in a way that was smart enough so that when showing this to an audience of reasonably intelligent people, they wouldn't be able to make up their minds for themselves who was in the right?
I'm curious what he even defines, how he defines anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Because everyone just throws that word around like it's, racist or misogynist these days.
I don't like the idea of just him. Was he paid for his time, or is he like, hey, Kanye, can you come do this interview? He comes, does the interview, and says, no, sorry, I'm not putting it out there.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Tucker aired his Kanye West interview, and there were a lot of disturbing comments in it.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that.
And I thought it was really interesting. And I was like, bravo for actually showing this whole thing. I think show the whole thing. And that because he appeals to young people anyway. Yeah. And they're going to find out what he thinks anyway. Yeah. And young people don't watch Bill Maher anyway.
True.
So,
I wonder if it
just
was
air the interview.
Club Random.
Who is it we were talking to that was, or maybe it wasn't even on this show, they were talking about, they said the whole reason they're bringing out, for instance, that the reason they're bringing back Jon Stewart for, the whole reason they're doing that is because he's only doing 1 day a week, is because they're going to clip the hell out of him so that he'll end up algorithmically, the short clips will be put up for people to watch, leading up to the election.
For sure. Yeah. They're going to have him, they're trotting him out to deceptively edit reality.
Correct.
Which is what he does. But now that he's going to be destroyed because Rogan's back on Apple, Spotify, YouTube again.
I can finally delete my Spotify.
Yeah. So that's happening, and Tucker's got this thing going on. So Jon Stewart, I feel like is less. Yeah. But Bill Maher, this is just pathetic. For someone who's so open about free speech, come on.
I kind of look at Piers Morgan the same way. That they get any pushback at all, and then suddenly they fall back into their very mainstream.
Pathetic.
$20 from Francisco Sanchez Jr. Bill Maher, the man who laughed at the idea that tampons were available in male bathrooms at Berkeley College. Screw him. Right.
Yeah. And Bill Maher, the man who had a week to know that the Covington kids story wasn't what he was joking about by the time he told the jokes. We knew that there was more to that story than he had 5 days, and his idiot joke writers still wrote the jokes based on the false reality. Yep. But that's what Bill Maher does. He can be smart sometimes.
But the problem is the people on the right are so desperate for the validation of people who normally disagree with them that he says one not ridiculous thing and he immediately people are like, oh, I always liked him, he's great, and I'm like,
that does happen just because you're because you're just so grateful that someone isn't just calling you a racist, transphobic, white supremacist, that you're like, oh, you must be great, Michael Rappaport, you must be amazing.
I can't wait for Michael Rappaport to come with me to CPAC next year. But it's not just that. We also have Kanye was doing a live stream of his concert at the United Center. I noticed a discrepancy here. They said it was almost full, but Kanye said they sold it out in 7 minutes. So maybe just people got caught in traffic.
Who said that? The journalist said that?
The article.
This is the same thing with the Trump inauguration. They always do this.
Oh, my favorite was so there was. Did you see the thing recently? They were like when Republicans were like Taylor. I guess it's still happening. Taylor Swift is evil, and they were showing you like the size of their concerts versus the Trump rally, and they showed Trump at like a non-Trump event where there was like 50 people there, and I'm like, this is why everybody hates you, because she still has larger concerts than him. You could have shown a regular-sized Trump rally and then a concert of hers, and it would have been plenty sufficient.
Why wouldn't a pop star have bigger concerts than a political figure would have? Rallies where he gives 3-hour speeches.
Exactly.
But the concert,
that's
Kanye's concert was cut short because of anti-Semitic comments.
Well, he was streaming this exclusively on a platform called Veeps, which I've never heard of.
I don't know what that is.
He had a deal with them, supposedly, where they could cut it at any moment, make the screen black, cut off the sound, if he had any objectionable content. And this happened right at the moment when he rapped the lyrics, "I'm still crazy, bipolar, anti-Semite, and I'm still the king." And almost a second after that lyric, the feed cut to black and went silent, suggesting that it was done on purpose.
Kanye, you're an idiot. Like, why would you make a deal with these people knowing what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I keep saying he needs better people around him, because this is a ridiculous deal. When you know you're saying all these things, maybe he wants it though. Maybe he thinks that's what's better. But by doing that, he's alienating his audience. Yeah. Because I was at the first listening party for this record. That was a mess, in terms of like technical stuff, because it took 3 hours to start. The aux cable was a problem. Basically the same stuff happened here. It went late, and then the stream was
crazy.
killed.
You'd think somebody of his level of talent would have, at the very least, like top-notch people.
At the very least, a top-notch aux cable.
Yes.
Like, what's the deal with that? Like, those are not hard to get.
Frustrating. He's shooting himself in the foot. This should be a very big comeback.
Art Basel listening
It was
party?
that week. Yeah, it was in Miami. Yeah.
In Miami.
Yeah.
And did you see North on stage?
Yeah. That's when I wrote that. I wrote that whole thing about that. I was not happy.
Thank
He
you.
never recovered from that divorce.
They what?
He never recovered from the divorce.
He's never recovered from his mom dying. He's never recovered from. I mean, there's a string of things. The marriage falling apart before.
When did his mom die? Before that,
2008 or 9, around there.
That was the one from elective surgery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the Art Basel the one where the great Kit Kat conspiracy theory came out?
What was that?
Candy bars. They're making the candy bar. Or Twix.
Oh, no, that's Twix.
That they're making candy bars bigger to make us fat.
We're spending more money just to make you fat.
Meanwhile, wasn't like somebody from Congress, was it Nancy Pelosi or whoever, was recently talking about how things were being made smaller to fleece us?
They are. I mean, have you seen water bottles lately?
Those are small.
They're getting small. They've got like funny little designs now to make it look
to make it look like it's intentionally designing.
Yeah,
it's like when you get a bag of chips and it's only filled to like the halfway mark.
Yeah, but that's because of the puffy air thing.
That's why you need a Stanley cup that's full of lead.
That's why you need
one of those?
An adult sippy cup.
You shoplift
with lead.
that?
I got this as a gift. I didn't buy it, I swear.
Did they shoplift it for you?
No.
Did they fight someone for you?
No.
I've seen those viral videos.
At least not that I know of.
How does Kanye fix this? How does he get back on track?
Kanye needs a better team around him. I know that. He needs a much better team around him. And
does he even like these people? When I saw that video of him from another listening party going on that 10-minute rant,
he yelled at him.
All of these people around him were interrupting him.
Yeah.
They were recording him on Instagram Live. They were acting annoying.
What I think has happened
that seems pretty annoying.
This is his first time as an independent artist. He's had huge labels or companies behind him, whether it's Adidas or Rock Nation, Def Jam, I guess was the last one. Now he's completely on his own, and he's kind of micromanaged himself out of the focus. So he's stretched really thin, and he's literally involved in every aspect of this.
When people wonder why the studios and why the labels take such a huge cut, it's because you don't realize that their ability to build infrastructure so that the show goes off without a hitch, that's what they're there for, right?
But that's no excuse.
No.
He's got too much money. He's got too much knowledge to know to let it go like this. To have all your fans pay $20 to live stream this last night and for it to cut short, come on, dude.
I'm a little confused because I read through all of the lyrics on the Vultures album today, and none of them had this line in it. I'm crazy, bipolar,
it's
anti-Semite.
At the end.
I didn't see that anywhere.
Maybe he was just
he was just freestyling.
No, he wasn't freestyling because there was no microphones. He was lip syncing to a CD. Like, there was no microphones at the live stream.
Does the new grill affect his ability to sing? So you're saying it makes
he has
it
a
He's
lisp.
also wearing a Jason Voorhees mask, which wouldn't help.
Yeah, none of that helps. Yeah, he's got a lisp and his whole face
Also,
is
why
different.
is his wife walk around with the naked under the raincoat, naked under the sheer
Yeah.
A lot of that
I
stuff
don't
is
get
questionable.
that. And she looks freaked out. I'd be freaked out if I was naked.
You know what
walking
though?
around
I will
outside,
say
too.
I don't agree with the way she dresses, but she's actually really smart. She's like, if you go watch her old videos about being an architect,
Well, she's a hoe, but she's smart.
she's smart.
She's a smart
Yeah.
hoe.
Yep.
I don't know if she's a hoe.
Oh, she's
I mean,
a hoe.
she's
Really?
married.
She's a hoe.
But she
She's
does
married.
post. She has in the past posted some stuff, and she's got questionable friends in places like Balenciaga. But so does Kanye.
I mean, if she's a registered architect and she's like 24, that takes a lot. It takes like an intensive amount of schooling and testing.
There's a
and all
great video
kinds
of her
stuff.
talking
Which,
about.
I mean, doesn't that prove that this is not like she's making these choices of her own volition, right? Unless we're saying that he's physically forcing her to do this, then
Well,
she
really
is an
smart
adult.
ladies can be coerced, and
Yeah.
that
I don't
definitely
think,
happens.
I think she's operating on her own.
I think she's making her own decisions.
Yes.
I think that she's decided that the fame that she's getting from this and the choices she's making will benefit her career down the line. She's clearly not, though I guess she could start like Naked Hose architecture firm. I would go
Naked
there.
hose architecture.
I would
Yeah,
go
like
there.
I'm not
you
sha-
show up
I'm
for
not saying
design
she's
meetings
stupid.
and
Let's
it's just
go.
like
I'm
high
actually
heels and
disagreeing with the
boobs.
people who say that she's being controlled and abused because I know she's smart and she's making her choices.
She's not being controlled.
I
Yeah.
just
I can
don't.
tell you
I just
that.
don't get it.
She's a hoe, but she's smart. That's
I'm not
that's
going to
my
call her a
verdict.
hoe, but I don't agree with the way she dresses. My problem with the whole thing, and I said this a few weeks ago, is North on stage as a 10-year-old at 3 a.m, hearing some of the most like ridiculous lyrics about sex a year after Kanye was railing about like not having his daughter around that very thing.
Yeah, that is
Right.
weird.
So I'm like, yo, what happened?
And crying about how what school she's in and everything. Like
Yeah.
you're not exactly a good influence either, bro.
And maybe, the argument you can make about where he's at now, because I don't like a lot of the lyrics on this album so far. I like the way the music sounds, and the argument would be like, well, he's just it's a new era, new phase, and he's gonna give them everything they want because he would say like, oh, I can say stuff about Jewish people, everyone gets mad, so all you want black people to do is rap about drugs and sex and stuff like that. So I'll do that, and then you'll be happy. And he's been welcomed back into the fold to a bigger degree than I think a lot of people expected. That doesn't excuse North on stage.
There are all of these people collabing with him on this album who are not getting any pushback for
Yeah.
associating with him.
Yeah.
But all of the brands dropped him. So what's that about?
Yeah.
Do you have any
I don't-
theory on why they're not
The
getting
brands-
criticism?
Branding is different
Like all
than
of
the
these
artists.
people who are collabing with him aren't having their
I think
brands or
be-
management drop them.
The rap world will never reject Kanye. They might say something like Cudi,
Yep.
exiled Kanye, but Cudi was at that thing you're referencing in Vegas and they hugged, which was insane to see after what Cudi said. I thought Cudi should apologize to Ye, not the other way around. But that's what it is. But Playboy Cardi, who I don't even like, or I don't like any of these people really, except for Ty.
I like Ty Dolla $ign.
They look up to him so much. They'll never, they all support them working with Kanye because that's the number one guy, So I don't think you'll see that from the rap side.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.